Well, greetings and salutations, Series 7 test takers. This is the Series 7 Guru coming to you from my off-grid studio, getting my kicks on Route 66 with another explication request. This is a Kaplan QID 1558710. If you don't have a Kaplan Q Bank, I highly recommend it as a paid supplement. With my 15% discount code at checkout, Guru15, you can get over 3,600 practice questions and, most importantly, a performance tracker that helps you identify areas for remediation. We'll help you with any question from any vendor. But if it's Kaplan, it's easier because you can just send me the QID like this test taker did, and I can bring it up backstage. Otherwise, you need to cut and paste it, and I'm more than happy to help you with that. If you have an explication request, you can send it to explication request at guruexamprep.com. All right, here we go. QID 1558710. An investor opens the following position. All right, so let's just boom, boom, boom. Long 1 PKE, April 60 put at 4, and short 1 PKE, April 55 put at 2. What is the investor's max gain, max loss, and break even? What I want to hopefully you to be able to do as a test taker is not be struggling with contract specifications. What I mean by that is you look at that long 60 put at 4, and you know that that is a choice to sell the stock at the strike price. XP just means strike price at 60. You look at the short put, you know that's an obligation to buy the stock at the strike price. If you can get contract specifications down, you can track money in and out of the account, you're going to be in pretty good shape. I believe in spending a lot of time on what I call the setup before I actually do anything, right? And this is a spread. Not that they didn't ask you what it is, but if you can't identify it, that could have been a question. It's a spread. We're long and short the same type of contract. We're long and short a put. Now, I think a break even is a good way perhaps to start out because we get that break even first, then we can use it to kind of pivot into the other questions. So here I just doing my setup. I want to be able to track money in and out. Options are all about floors and ceilings. And here there's a ceiling at 60. 60 or higher, the put contract expires worthless. And this floor here is 55. One of the important concepts in this spread is that all the action takes place between the strikes. The market price outside that range is not going to be relevant. So I paid 4 for the put. I brought in 2 points for the 55 put. So if we net those premiums, I've got more dollars out than dollars in. This is a debit spread. Again, they didn't ask me to identify it. They didn't ask me if it's a debit, but they could have. They could have. This is a debit spread. We're going to start with the break even. There's the market price of the stock. And as I said, all the action takes place between the strikes. And so this loan can get you a 50-50. We can eliminate in the answer set. I'm not showing you the answer set here because it's not relevant. But we can eliminate in the answer set any break even offered to us that isn't somewhere within the range. It can't be something below 55. It can't be something above 60. So we have a memory aid device for determining break even. And the memory aid device for puts is push. That stands for put subtract from the higher. We're going to take the higher strike, which is 60. We're going to minus the net premium. Doesn't matter whether it's a debit or credit, does not matter. Till we get the break even of 58. 58 answers that question. Now, I didn't show you the answer set, but you could shop it and you can eliminate now anything that says the break even is something other than 58. We'll put that in there. I'm just going to illustrate now that this is the break even, right? I have here, boom, there's the a choice to sell at 60. The larger premium is always the dominant position, and this is a choice to sell at 60. And break even is the number that would make the columns balance, right? So if I bought the stock at 58 and I stuck it to somebody at 60, I'd have the same dollars out as in. So I'm just illustrating that indeed the break even is 58. Now, what we need to know is where do we want the market price of the stock to be in relationship to that break even? And again, here, the larger premium dominates the position, right? The larger premium is that 60 put, which is bearish. So my max loss is if it's 60 or higher, I lose the 2 points. So the maximum loss here is $200. 2 points, $200. Whenever you buy an option position, here we're buying the spread, debit spread. Whenever we have money out, we're long. The worst case, we're going to lose it. So here, if you're wrong, you lose $200. The max gain is 3. Again, I'll illustrate this. If somebody sticks it to me at 55 and I stick it to the next guy at 60, I'd make 5, I spend 2, I make 3. So my max gain is 3, my maximum loss is 200. Maximum gain 3 points or 300. Okay, we've now answered this position. The larger premium dominates, as I mentioned. This is a bearish spread. The other thing we could be asked about this debit spread, besides bullish or bearish, or that's important because we need to know we want it below 58, is whether we want the contracts to exercise or expire. We certainly want to exercise. We want to be able to buy it at 50 and sell it at 60. If it expires, we'd actually lose $200. And then they could ask us, wide or narrow? Do we want the difference in the premiums to get larger or smaller? And here we'd want to be able to close it out for something more than 2. That's the hardest part to get. Don't need to get it. I will link in the video description to a video I have called Don't Hate the 8 that goes over all 8 things you need to know about spreads as it relates to your Series 7. You've got to be able to identify this as a spread. We've done so. Long and short, the same type of contract. You got to determine debit or credit. We've determined debit. Exercise or expire. We've determined exercise. Widen or narrow. We've determined widen. We've got to be able to do max gain, max loss. Max gain, max loss always equals the difference in the strikes. Here it's 5. So we're either going to have the debit or credit by netting the premium. So if it's a debit, we got our loss and the balance is our gain. If it's a credit, our gain, the balance is our loss. Here we spent 2. The spread is 5, or the difference in the strikes is 5. We make 3. We got to be able to do break even, push, put, subtract from the higher, and then we got to determine bullish or bearish. The larger premium dominates. By the way, even if it was missing the premiums, we should know that higher strike puts have greater premiums, and so that would be the dominant leg. In other words, we could do it without the spreads. Missing premiums, I think, is one of the tougher questions on your exam. Okay, so remember, inch by inch, your Series 7 is a cinch. Yard by yard, your Series 7 is hard. And I will see you for the next explication request.